Crystal, you done with that firewood yet? Anytime?
Hey.
Hi, how's it going? Hi. Welcome back to another episode of EcoVentureGSO. I'm Mikey Romano.
And I'm tired of getting your firewood.
It's our firewood.
I'm Crystal Jones.
Anyway, on today's episode, we're gonna talk about camping. It's a bit of a change in seasons now. It's about to start getting cooler. Everyone wants to get away from it all. Get outside, enjoy nature, and kind of leave work in the city behind sometimes. Leaves are gonna change. It's much better temperatures out. So today we're gonna talk about setting up a proper campsite, enjoying the outdoors, how to do campfire safely, and all kinds of fun stuff. But first, I'm gonna go apologize to Crystal. So today, we are getting to enjoy Hagenstone Park. It's on the outskirts of Greensboro, and it's one of the only places you can go tent camping, RV camping, and group camping. It's amazing. We've kind of set up a mock campsite for you guys today. We haven't brought everything you can bring, but we brought enough to make it a really good camping experience. You can always bring more, you can always bring less, depending on how experienced you are and what kind of camper you are. But first, we're gonna talk to Crystal a little bit about some of the things that you can do while you're camping. Hi, Crystal.
Hey, Michael. So when I go camping, I really like to bring my pack and go for a nice hike after I've slept outdoors. Also, sometimes I like to go swimming. It really depends on where you're camping and what they offer at the campsite that you've chosen. There's always a lot of different activities. You can go bring your bikes and go bike riding. You can play games at the campsite, which is always fun. Maybe plan for rain and check the weather before you come.
Do you have to bring your own bugs, or do they supply them for you?
Well, you can bring your own bugs.
Okay.
Sure, but they're usually supplied for you.
Oh, excellent, wonderful, very cool. You want to take a tour of the campsite now?
Would love to.
That sounds like fun.
All right.
All right, everybody, so one of the biggest parts about camping is, of course, the campfire. Everybody loves the campfire. It keeps you warm at night. It's always fun. Some people cook on it. And of course, I won't even bring up s'mores till the end of the episode, but we'll get back to that. So a lot of places will give you kind of like a ready-made fire pit. They don't want you to dig a hole or just kind of put it in the woods because, you know, embers travel in the wind. They could start a forest fire. It could be dangerous. A lot of places don't even want you to pull firewood out of the woods. You've got to bring your own in. So wherever you go, make sure you check the rules of that area to know if you need to bring in your own firewood or not. But this is a great little fire pit. It's already preset. It's got a grill that you can flip over on the top if you want to cook anything on it or put pots on it. We'll talk in a little while about campfire safety and how to start a proper fire and keep it going and that kind of stuff. And we'll talk about how to make the perfect s'more in a little bit. But right now, always remember, wherever you go, always kind of think about the fire you're going to make, because what's camping without a campfire? So while we're talking about necessary things to bring while you're camping, that's my hammock. Is vengeance for the firewood? Yeah, thanks. Okay, fine. You enjoy yourself in my hammock. Anyway, talking about necessary things when you're camping. One of the greatest things to bring is a tarp. Tarps are multi-use. You can use them for almost anything. You can set up between some trees like a shade cover, which is wonderful if the sun's beating down on you, or if it's raining, nice place to eat out. You can put it over a tent in the event of a really bad rainstorm to kind of help some of the water to get diverted. Put it under your tent for moisture control. You could use a tarp for so many different things. It's unfathomable. They're light, they're easy to carry, they're cheap, always a plus. So whenever you go camping, always bring a nice tarp. I personally like to bring a hammock with me too, because it's a really comfortable place to sit and lay when someone else is not in it.
One of the most important things when you go camping is your tent, because you want to have somewhere safe and comfortable to sleep in, something that's going to protect you from the elements, and somewhere you can go. Maybe if it even rains while you're in the middle of the day thinking you're going to do something else, it's a good place to go for shelter. When you pick out a tent, you want to pick out a tent that you can put up yourself, or that's going to suit your needs. If you're bringing a great big family, you don't want to bring a 1-person tent. You're going to want to bring, you know, a 10-person tent. This is about a 2-person tent right here, and because we have 2 people today, Crystal and Michael, we have a great rain guard right here, so if it rains, it's going to keep your tent on the inside dry, or else you might wake up with some drips on your face. And in the tent, you're going to want to put some things to keep you comfortable. We've got a sleeping pad here, and we've got a little bit of bottom cover here to pad you, so when you're sleeping, you're not straight on the ground, which is sometimes uncomfortable and damp. And then you also want to have a nice sleeping bag to keep you warm or cool. I get really cold at night, so I like to bring a really warm rated sleeping bag. But if you sleep and you get really hot at night, you're going to want to bring a different type of sleeping bag. So you should do a lot of research before you get your sleeping bag so that you're comfortable in the evenings.
Like dinosaur sleeping bags are better than sloth sleeping bags, right?
Yes. They move a lot faster too.
Exactly. Crystal, are you done talking?
Yes.
Okay. I can't find any place to put my nightlight. All right, so we saw the tent and some of the other things. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the more equipment that you can use to make camping a little bit more interesting. Speaking of interesting, you see what I see?
I do.
All right, so you got to remember, when you are camping, you're not in your house. You're in a house of a lot of other things. So sometimes you may come upon animals that you're not used to. They could be dangerous, they might not be. Fortunately, we just made a new friend, and he's not dangerous at all. Come here, big guy. So this is an eastern king snake. Now these guys are really, really cool. They are native North Carolina. They're really neat. These are the kind of snakes you want to have around. Their favorite food is other snakes, including venomous snakes. They could take a bite from a copperhead, shrug it off, and swallow the copperhead, no problem. They are a constrictor. They're non-venomous. They eat rodents, birds, other snakes, no problem. And you've got to remember, when you're out camping, you're out in the woods, you're in the wilderness, there is tons of wildlife all over the place, and you are visiting their home. So you always want to be a good steward. You never want to hurt them. You've also got to make sure you're taking steps to not really attract them, because not everybody wants these kind of animals in their campsite. You might see raccoons, you might see squirrels, you might see all kinds of different wildlife, and it's best to enjoy them from afar and not really mess with them too much or bother them, because these guys are pretty awesome to have around and they're pretty great, but any wildlife can defend itself if you're bothering it. So I'm going to take him, I'm going to put him in the woods so he's out of the way, and I'm going to let Crystal take the next segment.
This is some of the equipment you might like to have while you're out camping. I like to have a headlamp so that if I need to get up in the middle of the night, I can see where I'm going. Also, I bring a lot of water to drink with me. It's very important to stay hydrated when you're out camping, and you want to bring an ample amount. I not only have this, but I do have a Camelback in my bag, and I also have a life straw. So if I'm going to go hiking, I can use water that is flowing from somewhere around, and this will filter it for me.
My water's always filtered.
Pepsi's great for hydration.
There's water in there.
Also, I like to bring some sunscreen. You can bring bug spray, just whatever you need for yourself to keep yourself safe from whatever kind of irritants if you're prone to sunburn.
Children.
And here's a stove. If you want to cook over that, maybe warm up some hot chocolate. I like to have something warm at night before I go to bed, and this is a great little pan that you can drink out of. See, multi-purpose, and fits easily in your pack as well. Have some hiking poles that help me get up tall mountains if that's where you are and that's where I'm hiking. And we have, well, it's not where we are today. And we also have a lantern, and we can turn that on at night so that we can enjoy sitting around the picnic table, maybe playing some games.
And the cool thing with the lantern, there's all kinds of different types these days. So not only can that one light up, but it also acts as a charger for some devices, it has a bug zapper in it, and it has a speaker system so you can play music. So an important thing to remember when you're out camping is that you're out in nature. You want to keep it pristine, not only for yourself, for the wildlife, and for everybody else who wants to come out and enjoy it as well. So when you're camping, there's always going to be waste and garbage and that kind of stuff. Do you want to leave it out in the wilderness to rot away in nature and mess up the environment and ruin it for other people? You don't. You want to make sure you're packing it out. Make sure that you leave nothing but footprints. So make sure you're getting all your waste, all your garbage, all your trash. Take it with you when you leave. There's always going to be waste when you're in a new place and doing new things. Make sure you prepare for it. Some waste is inevitable. As long as you prepare for it, you'll be fine. If you'll excuse me.
Michael, there's a bathhouse right over here.
Oh, even better. Hold that for me. Thanks.
So whenever you go to a campground, you want to go ahead and check out what amenities they offer. Most campgrounds have a bathhouse with showers and restroom facilities and a sink where you can brush your teeth. And those are important things to check on before you go.
All right, so like we talked about before, no camping experience is complete without the campfire. Now, there's a couple different things you want to think about. Always make sure when you get to your site, you check into the office and see what kind of campfire regulations they have. These guys have a camp ring all set up for you, which is great. Keeps the fire contained. You don't want it to spread to the woods. You never want to start a campfire close to trees, with overhanging branches or a lot of leaf litter or whatnot. You don't really want to start a forest fire. That's no good for anybody. So always make sure you stay to the designated areas. Sometimes they make you bring your own firewood in so you're not collecting out of the woods. Check that kind of stuff. Always kind of know where you're going before you set yourself up. So, down to the campfire stuff. Gotta love this. So there's a lot of different ways to make different campfires. There's almost like a little kind of like a log cabin kind of setup, like squares and whatnot. This is a teepee kind of setup where you've kind of got different levels of different layers of wood. So the smallest is going to be your tinder, which is like very, very fine, very light, going to catch flame really easily. Then you've got your kindling, which is a little bit larger. Some of the smaller sticks, about pencil size, they should catch next and kind of take on to the rest of the bigger stuff. That's your fuel. This is going to be a great little fire, and then we can make some, cook on it, make some s'mores, whatever you want to do. But it'll be a fun little fire to kind of tell some ghost stories over, enjoy, just kind of a happy, enjoyable, cheerful part of your campsite. So there are lots of different ways to do this. Okay, so we've got our fire set up. You can always go and pick up some waterproof matches from the store. These are great. They are waterproof, windproof. They come in this perfect little plastic container, so they're always ready to go. There's a strike on the side. You can light your match, put it in there, and get it going. Okay. There's these are always fun. This is what's called a magnesium striker. You basically use one side to scrape some magnesium flakes off, and then you use the other side to kind of make some sparks and hopefully start your fire. Now, a trick that I learned a long time ago, this is always fun. You bring some cotton balls and they're coated in either paraffin wax or Vaseline. You put them in there, they catch fire pretty quickly and will help kind of get your fire going. So you put a couple of them in there and you get your fire going really cool.
I've never heard of that.
It's a fun little trick.
Well, I'm excited to watch it.
Do you want to try?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all you do is you take your sharp end right there, you scrape off some magnesium onto there, and then you use the flat side and spark it and see if you can get it kicking.
All right. I do love a nice fire.
And get a little closer.
Ooh.
There you go.
We'll try it again.
Yep, scrape some magnesium off. So, this is a great way to do, but in case that doesn't work for you, there's always the better
one.
The cheap method.
The cheap method?
The cheap method. So.
Alright. Oh my goodness, this thing is heavy duty.
So you put that right in the middle there. we got our fire,
Looks good.
got our campsite.
Yes.
We're done with the video. S'more time?
It's more time.
So,
Ooh.
I know. You can use a regular stick and kind of cut off the end and make it all good, or you can totally cheat with fun toys.
I love it.
Right? So, everybody has a different way to make their s'mores. Okay? I personally like mine golden brown. Some people like their marshmallow on fire. Now, here's one thing you want to remember. When you're doing your s'more and you've got your marshmallow in the fire, sometimes it'll catch fire if you get too close. You want to gently bring it back and blow it out. If you pull it back out of the fire and it's on fire and you do that whole whip thing, you may get a flaming marshmallow in the center of your forehead. Nobody likes flaming marshmallows in their face.
No.
Just saying. They don't taste good, they don't feel good, so gently blow your marshmallow out as opposed to whipping it at your friend's face to put the fire out. Just throw out. So enjoy. I'm gonna get the graham cracker ready so you cook your marshmallow. So everybody, thanks so much for joining us on our camping episode of EcoVentureGSO. Thanks for coming along, learning about camping, enjoying the outdoors with us, learning how to make a fire, learning how to make s'mores, and general having a wonderful, wonderful, educational, amazing time. As always, we're really glad you came. Crystal, did you have a good time today?
I had an excellent time as usual.
Well, good. Would you have had a good time if we didn't make you s'mores?
Maybe.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Bribery is everything. So guys, thanks very much. Fire's about good to go. And come back next time for EcoVentureGSO. I'm Mikey Romano.
And I'm Crystal Jones.
Till next time, guys. Thanks more.